The Dubai Future Foundation activated the 3D Printing Strategic Alliance in July 2020 under the leadership of His Highness Sheikh Hamdan bin Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, Crown Prince of Dubai, as a part of the objective to make Dubai a global manufacturing hub. In this episode of AM Infocast, we connect with Peer Arkham, founder and CEO of Proto21, one of the leaders in the 3D printing industry in the Middle East North Africa region, who are enabling individuals and businesses to explore the limitless possibilities of additive manufacturing in various sectors. Along with Joseph Group, Proto21 aims to serve the 3D printing strategy and play their part in making Dubai the manufacturing hub of the world. Tune in to this episode as we get an insight into the journey of Proto21 and the 3D printing landscape in the region. Welcome to AM Infocast, Peer.
Thank you.
So for this episode, we also have Manoj Pillai, who's from Jumbo Electronics, who's also the co-host for this special episode for the Middle East region. Welcome, Manoj.
Hi, thank you.
Yeah, so to address you in a short space of 3 years, Proto21 has really become one of the leaders in additive manufacturing in the Middle East and North Africa region. Can you share a bit about your 3D printing journey and how did you come about creating Proto21?
Sure, Aditya. So I came to Dubai in 2016 to visit, and I always wanted to have my own 3D printing company. I initially started in Pakistan, but due to some restrictions in the government laws, I was told that it's not possible to import printers that easy there. So I came to Dubai for a visit to just see how the market is here, and I was really impressed by the city. And I actually wanted to work here and in the future start my company here. So I initially began with looking for a job. So because I wanted to understand the market first, because in a business, it's most important is what you create and what you can sell and what's the market requirement. Where I come from, Germany and Turkey, the market requirements there were very different than here. So I joined the company and I worked good 8 months there. And then I realized that, I should change and I should go on to starting my own company. It was literally a sudden decision. One day sitting in my room and thinking when I will do it. I've been thinking on this like 6 months now, 6 years now. And I wanted to just start it. So I literally started bootstrap. I had I had no plan of anything kind of. I just started making the website and I resigned and I started alone. And my ex-boss helped me first, Salman Ghaznavi. He was my boss back in another company. And he helped me, supported me, gave me some space in his office areas, which was in Citadel Tower, Business Bay. That's where I used to live and work. And, the starting point is very difficult. You want to be aware, you want to promote your company. So things were going good. But later on, I saw I need a huge investment because I want to establish a factory, and my vision and goal is to be the largest manufacturer in the world, to be honest. It still scares me, but it still is the vision and goal. I joined, I was doing training courses initially to generate the revenue in my company. I was well versed with the technologies and my experience of all 9 to 10 years in 3D printing. So I was giving courses to many big corporates and established leading companies here in MENA region and Dubai, UAE region. I ended up meeting Joseph Group, who are the largest signage manufacturer in Middle East and Africa. And we were discussing for the course, so they invited me for a course, but then it was a nice gesture from them to offer me a partnership where Proto21 will act as an incubator in the Joseph Group and grow. And mashallah, now we are one of the largest 3D printing companies. We have great clients. We have done amazing projects so far. And our tagline is to the future. So imagine what I need to do is like having 10 more factories like one we have here. We have more than 50 FDMs. We have HPMJF and many other technologies, and we're doing so well.
Very interesting, Pir. I have a question.
Okay.
His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum has launched the 3D printing strategy with an aim of elevating Dubai as a manufacturing hub. So, how is Proto21 aligning its strategies with this initiative?
We are a strategic partner with Dubai Future Foundation. It's that new beautiful building in the Sheikh Zayed Road. If you've seen, they have the 3D printing facilities inside, and they're pushing 3D printing very well. Also, like in COVID times, the local manufacturing was much needed because the supply chain from China was stopped, and people needed like medical equipments, medical lot of support in terms of engineering. So it was very much needed in hospitals. The masks, the COVID face shields, the protective face shields. We ended up doing a project with Dubai Police. So as a company, I mean, we know that His Highness wants to make Dubai as a 3D printing hub of the world, and we have exported quite a lot of countries from here. So we have exported more than 30 countries. Many are in Africa, Asia, Europe, Americas. I mean, we recently got an inquiry from Seychelles. So imagine we're doing global and we're exporting from Dubai. So we're doing our best in this, and this is the very reason why I came in Dubai for 3D printing, because I saw a blog post of Khalid Sam, and my brother sent me, said, "How come I think it's not going to work there in the country until and unless they lift the bans on 3D printing. Why don't you come for a visit to Dubai?" So that's how I actually came here. So it's very much aligned with the initiative.
That's great, Pete. I think it's really inspirational to see how you started and how you scaled this technology with support of your partners and your ambition, really. That's good to see. What are the technologies which you employ at Proto 21? And can you share some of your milestone achievements in these past 4-5 years you've achieved with the company?
Sure. Just to add an information here, I was the first guy to make a 3D printer in Pakistan, in my home country. I was sent to United States for a scholarship during my bachelor's. That's where I saw 3D printing for the first time. I'm talking about 2012 spring. So imagine there was no 3D printing company in Dubai then. There was no need 3D printing. If I used to talk about 3D printing in my college, people used to laugh at me and say, "Are you serious? Like, are you joking?" I was just shooting videos and they're like, "These are renders and these are maybe, those fake videos, like they have iPhone 15 coming on the YouTube." So in the college, it was very big, tough time for me to get my degree and everything, making the 3D printer final project. So I learned most of the technologies. That was one of my strengths, and that's why maybe a reason Product 20 is successful and my career is good in this. In Product 21, especially, the idea I'll explain today, I haven't spoken about this before, but the logo, the idea came from hexagon, right? So the hexagon was actually used in the bees and honey. So you see the honey comb structure. It's like a lot of bees of different kinds of bee, be it a army bee, be it a soldier bee, worker bee. They all work together, bring nectar from different flowers, and they combine together, make like a purest form of nature, that is honey, which is like a purest form of food, which is so useful and the best food, they say. It's like it cures a lot of different diseases. So it was just in my mind. I mean, I never thought that I will make a 3D printing company like this and have. But when I was designing a logo in the fourth year of my college, the logo was about bringing in different technologies to make one model, bringing in complementing different technologies to produce a model. So when I used to be in 3D printing industry, I used to see around a model. Let's say people used to call and say, "Can you 3D print a box?" I was like, "Why would you do that? I mean, a box can be just laser cutted and made a box." So I used to always think on why something is made in certain way and why we shouldn't 3D print it. You know what I mean? What we should 3D print. So considering that we have 3D printing technologies, but Product 21 is more of smart manufacturing. So you see in the name Product 21 to the future, it doesn't say anything 3D printing there. It uses the potential, it uses the technologies of 3D printing to the best purpose. So we have FDM print farm, we have industrial SLA, lithography, we've got Forms Labs, we have HP Multijet Fusion technology that we have actually bought from Jumbo, and Manoj has been very supportive in there. We have VASP 3D printers, that is a tall one from the company called VASP. They only do these kind of printers where the tall items can be done. We have Modixes, that's a self-assemble kind of DIY 3D printer. And we have binder jet, full color jet printing. So I literally started the company from one Prusa machine. And that is 4 years ago. So when I resigned, I had one Prusa in my room. And that's what I had 4 years ago. When I joined Joseph, I brought that machine, and in Joseph Group, I was showing everybody that what it can do. And I mean, in that time it was common, but most of people still now haven't seen the technologies. So we have those as 3D printing technologies, but then also at the same time we have subtractive technologies from Joseph Group, and that's where the complement comes in. So the 3D printing along with subtractive is a bingo, is a success, because we use what is best in where, and it works really well. So in subtractive, Joseph, of course, is very much resourceful and laser cutting, CNC, and router. The many technologies that we use from there. So it's a combination of technology. That's what is making Product 21 successful.
Impressive growth from one Prusa machine to the place where you have entire spectrum in the polymer additive manufacturing, 3D printing. So what does future of 3D printing look like in the MENA region and for Proto 21?
Well, you see, UAE is a great country to work in technology sectors for entrepreneurs. I mean, myself, I started from scratch, literally. When I came to UAE, the first offer that was given to me was around 3,000 dirhams, imagine, and I was a master's in mechatronics and everything. But I knew that I'm not at the right place and not the right company. I was looking for 3D printing companies to bring me in, and nobody was giving me a job because they were saying my CV was full of cocktail. It had not any single particular experience, which had a 5 to 6 years experience. But I always knew that UAE has a high potential. Why? It's safe and secure. The government is supporting technology companies. So many times it has been a case that Dubai Police, Ministry of Defense, ADNOC will come up to us and say, we need this done. And I'm like, you can do this without 3D printing. Why would we? No, we need it 3D printed. I said, why? Because it's environment friendly. So imagine, such a support, disregarding the money involved in it, they want to push technology. And that's where I see a huge potential in the Dubai, and in particular UAE. I'm not really much aware of the MENA region. Well, Saudi is coming in these days, and I think Saudi is very, very nice potential market to tap in. But as in general, I'm talking about UAE, that I really truly believe in the leadership and potential of this country, and it's one of the reasons I think the future of 3D printing will be better here. But as in general, His Highness interest to make Dubai as 3D printing hub of the world plays a lot of role in this.
Well, that's great, Peter. I think it's been great to have this conversation, to know about your journey and really showcase the potential 3D printing has. For you as well personally, you started with as Manoj said, with one printer, and now you have the fleet of printers and potential business where you're exporting. I think that showcases the potential of 3D printing. And I'm sure there will be more growth for you and for 3D printing in the region. And we wish you the best of luck with all your endeavors. And great talking to you on this AM1 Infocast today. And thanks, Manoj, for joining us on this podcast as a co-host.
Welcome.
Thank you, gentlemen, for inviting me. It was a pleasure. And I really appreciate your interest in the company and all the questions you asked. Thank you so much for the podcast.
Thank you for tuning in to yet another episode of AM Infocast. We're happy to share that we have crossed 15,000 listens thanks to your support. I also take this opportunity to thank our co-host for the Middle East region, Manoj Pillai, who is also part of our AM Chronicle editorial advisory group. So until next time, keep listening to AM Infocast and do like and share.